Well, we're talking about spirit, sex, freedom, and love. Rub-a-dub-dub, talking in the tub. Tub Talk!
Hi, I'm Will, and this is another episode of Tub Talk. Today in the tub, we've got Freddy Freeman. Hi, Freddy.
Hi, Will.
Freddy, you've been in this tub before.
I have.
I'm so excited you're in the tub again.
Me too. I love this tub.
Oh, yes, we all do.
I love being in this tub with you.
So, Freddy, I understand that we have another Bare Your Soul to look forward to.
We sure do. We sure do.
So tell me, what is Bare Your Soul?
Bare Your Soul is a different kind of bear run that I co-created here with some lovely people at Easton Mountain. And, you know, guys go to bear runs for a variety of reasons. Like, there's social interaction, there's a chance to party a little bit, there's a chance to be playful with other men. You know, that's all part of going to a bear run. We keep all that stuff. I mean, we want to have all that fun. We have a good time. But, you know, I thought after years of going to bear runs, you know, can't we do something a little bit more meaty than that? And I wanted to add some juicy stuff.
Hey, you know? Yeah.
So, being here at Easton Mountain, it gives me a perfect opportunity to marry those two things together. So, Bare Your Soul is a bear event that creates a community in a small, intimate event. And it uses workshops and discussions added into all that fun and revelry that you're used to.
Yeah.
To, you know, create an experience that's a little bit, it's going to send you home maybe feeling a little bit more connected, a little bit like more in touch with yourself, a little bit more confident. You know, a lot of guys that come to Bare Your Soul, they go home and they maintain those connections when they go home. And, you know, they carry something with them from that experience. So it's a little bit different than your average bear run.
So the meatiness, the juiciness is kind of the depth. And going a little deeper.
Right.
Cool.
It was important also that we hang on to our sense of play and our sense of having a good time and relaxing.
Yeah.
You know, so all of the stuff that you'll encounter, all the workshops, it's all optional.
Great.
So if you want to just hang out by the pool and come in this tub,
that's right.
Hot bears, you know.
That's right. Well, I was here, Freddy, as you know, for the winter Bare Your Soul event.
Right.
And I obviously am not the typical bear. I'm a bit of a slim fella, but I had a great time. So what's that about? Like, tell me about the body types that are welcome here.
You know, people think that because it's a bear event, they go, "Oh, I can't go to that. I'm not the right body type." And I mean, I want this event to be all-inclusive so that everyone can come and celebrate. What I say is that, like, we take the best of the ideals of the bear community, but we make it for everybody, because it's about accepting ourselves no matter what our body type is. There's big guys that come to Bare Your Soul like me. There's muscle bears, there's daddies, there's otters, there's thinner guys like you. And, you know, we all get together and we have a good time, and we leave behind a little bit of that, you know, attitude that you can find at some of the mainstream gay events. We create a community for 5 days.
So you just touched a little bit about the ideals of the bear communities. Can you speak more on that?
Well, I realized after 10 years in the community, actually more like 12 years, 13 even, I can only speak from my own experience. And my experience was that as a man with a body type that didn't fit the mainstream of what's attractive, when I found the bear community, it was like a whole new world. And it was really a place that embraced a different idea of what it means to be a beautiful man, or what it means to be a gay man. Because, you know, a lot of us, especially guys my age, grew up with the stereotypes of, like, gay men are super pumped and, you know, with the perfect hair and product and all that stuff. And that's all great. I mean, there's some guys that love all that stuff. But a lot of guys who didn't fit into that felt marginalized. And the bear community gave them a place to you know, to feel a little bit different about themselves and to create their own communities. And groups started forming all over the country where they had potlucks and went bowling. And, you know, it wasn't just about going out to the club all night. And that's what I want to hold on to. But I also want to hold on to the idea that over a decade, it has evolved into a giant thing. It has parties and dancing, and that's great too.
Sure.
So I want the best of both worlds.
Cool. Well, you can have it this summer. Now, I understand that you guys did the winter Bears Soul.
Right.
And then what kind of prompted you to do this one?
Well, a lot of guys that came over the winter said, you know, I'd love to come here and do this when we can go swimming, when we can use the mud pit and things like that, you know. I just really wanted to have a summer camp.
Cool.
And I just love the idea of having, you know, a good 4 to 5 days where we can really just get away from the outside world and be with our brothers and do all kinds of interesting things and parties. And
so you just talked about swimming, mud pit. What are some of the other things I can look forward to?
Well, those are the main outdoor things. One of the big things that we're really looking forward to is on the Saturday of the camp. We're having an outdoor pig roast, and it's a Hawaiian luau with bean and everything. And it's going to be a pool party, and we're going to have a whole concert of bear-identified musicians called Bearapalooza. It's something that I've been doing for 10 years around the country. And the cool thing is that a lot of the musicians that I know that are playing in that, they're also people who have other skills that they're bringing to the table. So they're also our facilitators.
Awesome.
And that day is going to be a blast. We're going to have some great food, swimming, live music outside.
And people can get a day pass for that day too.
Yeah, if people can't come for the whole camp, especially local people, they can buy a pass for the day.
Awesome.
For that one day.
I can't wait. So listen, a lot of times I like to end my interviews asking the talker about queer spirituality. I've already asked you that question.
Right.
I want to take it one step, a little more personal. I want to ask you what bear spirituality is.
Bear spirituality?
Yeah.
You would ask me that, wouldn't you?
You'd be the person to ask.
Well, wow. You're really making me think here. Well, I guess it would be, I do feel there's a spirituality to the bear aesthetic, because it's an aesthetic that embraces, for me, and again, I can only speak from my own experience, because if you ask 10 different bears what this is all about, you get 10 different answers. But my story, my experience is that it enabled me to embrace the masculine aspect of spirituality in a different way than I had ever been able to do as a gay man. Because when I first came out as gay, I kind of assumed that I had to take on these feminine stereotypes. So the bear community really let me celebrate, you know, all the imagery and archetype of like taking on that power of what it is to be male, and realizing fully well now that that's all drag in a way. But it's still useful to me spiritually. Because like the other day, like I put on some bear drag. Like I hadn't done it in a while. Like, I put on like a flannel and my hat just the right way, my little shorts. And I'm like, you know, I was fully aware that I was putting on a costume in a way. But
it's still part of you.
In the same way, it was sort of like stepping into an archetype and embodying something that means a lot to me, and imagery, and how we create ourselves, and how we tell our stories. So in a sense, I mean, I guess for me, bear spirituality is about that. It's about creating our story the way we want to create it. Like, and for me, that means embracing this image that I really love. I love the imagery of beards and flannel and all that stuff. And although I realize that it's all part of the illusion, I love it. So if it's something I resonate with, it helps me get more in touch with my own sense of naturalness.
And so access to both masculine and feminine energy. I also feel like there's something, in my opinion, around acceptance, like radical acceptance, and being exactly who we are.
That's another point. And here, you know, we're going to go deep in this pub talk, because, like, I have been, when I first started doing Bearapalooza like 12 years ago, I was about 220, 230 pounds, little cute little cubby. It was about 10, 11 years ago. And, you know, I've put on a lot of weight since then. And, you know, I've struggled with it. I struggle with, oh my God, like what happened? You know, like I got so big, you know, I don't feel right in this body. And so I struggled with that for a while. And I've recently come to a place where I realized through doing inquiry work I've been introduced to a woman named Byron Katie, who does this work where you can question all your thoughts.
Yep.
And so she walked Oprah through this whole thing about being too large. And Oprah's like, my body's too large. So Katie walked her through this whole thing to make her realize that what was causing her misery was not being fat, but her thoughts about being fat.
Got it.
So I changed my whole tactic on how I looked at it, because I was really like walking all the time, dieting and exercising, and you know, I still want to do that, and I still think that my body will change naturally over time, and it will find an equilibrium for me, but it can't be to please anybody else. It can't be, I can't lose weight for anybody else.
Yeah, totally.
I have to love my body at the size it's at right now.
Amen.
And not because, oh, we should love ourselves. It's more simple than it sounds. It's just this fact. Is my body the size that it's at right now? Yes. So why argue with reality? And why cry over it? And why put myself down for it? When, if I want my body to change, that's great. But you only get there through loving exactly where you are. Radical acceptance, what you said. So, at its best, the bear community embodies that in a big way. It's about accepting other sizes, accepting other shapes, races. You know, we're all part of this like spectrum of different colors of furs, even if you're not furry. You know, it can miss the mark sometimes, and it has been in recent years. And Bare Your Soul for me is a little bit of an attempt to bring back those original ideals.
Beautiful.
So that's Bear Spirituality, I guess. Perfect, baby.
Well, thank you so much for joining me here in the tub, Freddie. I know
always a pleasure.
Just gave you that question without even prompting you ahead of time, but I think you handled it masterfully.
So there's all kinds of wonderful things happening that week. Go to the website and check it out. The links are going to be below. And come and join us in the woods.
Thank you. Cool.